This video will focus on how to create the hitch peg for the model miniature train. Now, some of the same principles that I'm going to talk about for creating this part here can actually be applied to the linkage peg that we see down below. Same thing, just different numbers. Let me scroll back up here, and well, basically some of the dimensions that are given here are a little misleading. So I'm going to show you in Inventor the dimensions that are actually going to be important for creating this part. I've already got the part created here, like you can see. I'm going to double click on my sketch here to bring that back up, and you can see here the dimensions are laid out as so. I'm going to recreate this part in just a moment here off to the side, but I just wanted to make a note that it's important that you start at the very center of the two axes here. Alright, so you want to start at the middle of that center point, and that's going to come into play later for when we try to revolve this part. We can actually pick one of the axes from the origin, such as the y-axis that you see highlighted here when I hover over it, and so that's what's important. I'm going to go ahead and recreate this profile down off to the side below over here. I'm going to start off with a line. I'm going to start at the top and go straight down at 0.65. I will then make my way over to the right at 0.125. Bring it back up, making sure that it is parallel at 0.5. And then out again to the right at 0.075. Okay, we have all of our straight lines laid out here. The only last part is to put on here is the arc. So you would probably think we would just come over here to the 3-point arc, select the start point, select an end point, and then place that somewhere in there, and then come and dimension it afterwards as per the specifications that we see, which say it should be at 0.208. So if we try that though, and we come and dimension this arc that we had just laid out, and I put in 0.208, we see that that does not match what we have over here. So the way that we need to create this arc is actually by laying out a circle first. And so I'm going to come over to the side here and lay out this circle. The radius, like it said, was 0.208, but since I'm laying out a circle by using its diameter, I'm going to times that by 2 and hit enter. I now have a circle that is 0.416 in diameter. The next thing I need to do here then is simply just dimension this into place. I'm going to click on this line here first, and then the center point, and place that dimension. I want those 2 points to come together and be 0. So I'm going to hit 0. And the last thing I need to do here now is dimension the top of the arc to the top of the line here. And if I pull out this dimension, it's going from the top of the line to the center of that circle. So I can put in the radius of 0.208 and hit enter, and voila, it pops into place. The only thing that's left here to do is clean up some of the leftover parts of the circle that I do not need anymore. I'm going to do that by selecting the trim tool in the modify tab, and then simply clicking on the portions that I no longer need. Oh, see, it's giving me a hard time here trimming out this portion because of this dimension line. So if I actually take a step back and delete that, I can then trim out the rest of that portion there. I was a little confused by that for a second. I hadn't seen it popped up earlier. So this is the profile that we have left here. That is what we want. Now all that's left is to finish sketch and revolve that. So I'm going to simply highlight this area here and delete it since I do not need it there, and I already have my profile established. Next I'm going to select finish sketch, and then I will show you my revolution that I used. The first thing you need to do is select profile here, making sure that this little box is blue, and then select the profile from your sketch. The second thing is to select an axis for that profile to revolve around. you can either select the origin axis over here of Y, or select that line that ran all the way up and down in your sketch. The only last part here would be select how far you want this revolution to go. You could set it between an angle or between 2 points or anything like that, but we want it to go all the way around 360 degrees, so we're going to leave it at full and say OK, and you should have your part now. Hopefully this will help you with your creation of the hitch peg and the linkage peg as well. And that is all.